out on a test drive with my co-pilot Coco. This is the 1980 Jeep CJ7. I have it, my first version of it was a motor which came from China, and it had a limited amount of power. It was 20 kilowatts and it was rated 48 foot-pounds, 144 volts and 154 amps maximum draw. And the battery pack was 82 amp hours, which gave me about 11.5 kilowatt hours, and on a sunny day range maybe 22 miles. It worked good, but my main concern was two main concerns. There was a vibration I couldn't get rid of, and there was also the issue with the startup power. It was very slow, and there's no way I could change it. This is the software that came with it. You could change how much power you want to put out and so on, but you couldn't change the pickup. And I wanted a little more faster acceleration when I hit the pedal. So this is the original display that came with it. All the way to the left is the amp power. In the middle display, it's kilometers an hour, which is not true. And then there's a smaller display which shows me how many amps I'm using. And when I let go of the accelerator, it will show me my regenerative power. And all the way to the right is my state of charge. The original engine compartment in the middle is the battery box, half of the battery box, and then here on the right you can see a panel with a enclosure, waterproof enclosure with some electronics, and to the left we have the auxiliary battery and the DC-DC inverter mounted on the fender. In the middle is the charger, the gray box with the fins, and it's called a TSM 2500 charger, and it's from a company called Thunderstruck. They sell it. What's neat about it is you can program it with your CAN bus. This is the other half of the battery setup. It's mounted in the rear where the fuel tank used to be. Between the two battery boxes, the one up front and this one, you have a total of 82 amp hours. And that gave you the range of about 22 miles. And here's the exciting part, the new power plant, the Hyper 9 high voltage motor with the mounting plate to go directly onto the Jeep gearbox. Twice the power of what I have now. The flywheel is from a company called ACT. It's a street light and it weighs 11.2 pounds. So this is about half of the original Jeep flywheel. The motor, the Hyper 911, 144 volts, same as currently, 90 kW, and it has 162 foot-pounds of power, and it can go up to about 500 amps, but again twice as much as now. The relocation of the charger, and here's the mounting plate for the inverter controller, which is going to be cooled, liquid cooled. On the front of the vehicle I have mounted the radiator, and it'll be a pump and a fan, so the pump will go constantly and the fan will turn on as needed. But this is only going to be cooling the inverter, not the motor or the battery. Here's the inverter wired up together with the motor, and then you can see the back side of the radiator with the electric fan. This is the setup, the way it's going to look with the low voltage enclosure, fuses, relays, and then the high voltage enclosure also with the main shutoff and miscellaneous fuses. Throttle control, I hooked it up to the original cable, and is the mounting point, and it goes down to a Hall effect type controller from a company called EV West. Inside the dashboard, speed hut instruments. All the way to the right is the auxiliary 12 volt. In the middle then is the power, in and out amperage, and speedometer. And finally, my master mechanic, Doug, who's been helping me with all the mechanical aspects of this project. And that's it for now. More to follow very shortly.